guess Brian's not gonna be here. I said him last night, he didn't tell me that. We were out for fireworks, he didn't tell me he wasn't gonna be here, so I really don't have anything. But we'll do some discussion on something. Which means y'all have to talk this time. About something. We went out to the fireworks last night and watched them. Anybody else go?
Yeah.
Well, I know you did. You were right,
said we had
right over from us. There wasn't much of a crowd out there, was there?
I think every year gets a little less.
I mean, it was getting back home was a while. Fireworks is 250 years. A long time. For America to be here. Who knows it will be here that long? And it might make another 250 before Jesus comes. Who knows? But like I said, now, anybody got something you want to bring up, talk about?
I want to thank everybody for praying for David's eye surgery. It went well, and
Now, I've got an eye that this eye looks different from this eye.
he's had a cataract.
If I close this eye, everything looks different in here. If I open this eye, it gets brighter.
Cool.
Cataract? You had it?
Dad.
I've had them took out both eyes.
Yeah, I get this one 27.
27.
So it makes it's wild. Oh, yeah.
Judging the distance.
Well, I don't have a problem, it's just the bright. Everything changed and got bright. But I did notice, my big problem was driving at night. And last night when I drove home from fireworks, I noticed I could read signs,
Yeah, it helps.
and cars didn't blind me, except this side. So you close this side, it's dry.
Yeah, I had that several years ago, and he said, you might need some readers. I thought, man, that's gonna be great. I have to wear glasses. Well, I don't need mine to read, but I still need to see the ropes. But that didn't happen 6 months after, and I went back, and he said, well, it's 1 in so many hundred. I was like, yeah, but I get to be the lucky one. So here I am, I still gotta wear glasses.
I hope I need that. Let's do prayer requests. Let's remember, you know, tonight starts Bible school this week, so let's pray for a bunch of kids to come. You know, there's nothing any more fun than kids coming and learning about Jesus. I mean, I like to see this place full of kids. I know there is a lot of kids around here that needs to know about your Jesus. If you remember back when you went to Bible school, it's all different. What's the biggest thing you remember in Bible school?
Kool-Aid and cookies.
Exactly. That was also on mine. Kool-Aid and cookies. Biggest thing it was. You knew you were going to get Kool-Aid and cookies. Remember Bible school, what else?
Singing. I like to sing. We'd sing different songs. We had our VBS songs.
Full craft, they kids.
Yeah, the crafts.
I don't think we had ours. You did.
Remember prayer request, that's remember Jeff's family, yes. That's remember Brian and him, because I know that we all know that was a big friend, Brian.
Yes, it was.
Great work with him for years. Remember that family.
Remember me and my family too, was planning on being here this week from Bible school, but the girls aren't gonna be with us, and the boys, I don't know, their dad's been something with them. So, we're not gonna be able to come up for Bible school, and then me and Sean and my daughter-in-law's going on vacation next week, so pray for us that we have safe travel and all of that, and then also continue to pray for Mackenzie. He's getting convicted. He says he feels it, and I'm like, well, he's like, well, every time something's
going back to 250 years, you know, America has always stood for God, and y'all can see it as well as I can see it. That America has pulled away from God. America don't pull back to God. We probably won't see that next 250 years. They're trying to pull our freedoms away from us now. The religious one is a big one. We're trying to pull. We've been trying to do a building project at our church now for 5 years. We just now got the approval. But the state and the county has come down with so many codes on churches where we live at. You're not even supposed to change a light socket over there without an engineer. And that's how far we've let our government hold our country from God's word. And we got a friend missionary, he's in Johnson City over here, he's been over in Bolivia. Remember them? They at a hotel and they don't have no food up there. They're eating bread and water, and they're for a week. Eating bread and water. He said these people don't have food. They got a shortage of food. So we don't do America, we're blessed. But you know where our blessing comes from? It didn't come from us. We didn't do nothing. Our blessing comes from God. If we don't watch, and America don't grow closer to God, we're going to be just like those people in Bolivia. We'll have to eat what the government allows us to have to eat. And you know, you minister this far, you know what it's like. But we overlook it because we don't know what it's like.
Live off that. Fat of the land, I should say,
Right.
about the blessings of, God has gave this country for years. And really, not that, you know, I know the younger people here, now I'm younger, honestly, but we don't know what hard times are.
Right.
I have no idea. We've been blessed for so long, we just take it for granted.
Any other?
Remember our Clifton, he's in Fort Sanders in Knoxville. And had a real hard time breathing this week. Pray for him.
Who was it?
Our Clifton,
Remember all of it out there that's have breathing problems, even, I don't have breathing problems, it's hard to breathe, it's hard to speak, so. It's hard on all of them.
Remember the homeless right now, that cold and in the heat, that's the hard any time. Bad for them.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we do just come with you right now, just to thank you for America, for the 250 years you've given. We do ask that you just continue to be with America. We know that America has drifted away from you, but we do know that you're still with America, and you're still going to be. And you've heard all the prayer requests of the sickness, death that's going on. Dear Heavenly Father, I do ask you just pray for Bible school. Just send the kids. Dear Heavenly Father, those kids mean more to you than anything. And all this in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We just said we all, but we got some discussion started. You know, a lot of good things. Think about America. You know, even if America don't make it much longer, we got it made. We got it made. The fact that the people that lived out here on the streets, the people that don't know Jesus, I mean, when that time comes, it's going to be a bad day. I know that when that time comes for me and I close my eyes and when I open them again, I'll be standing beside Jesus. And the song that, you know, the best song in the world to me is I can only imagine. I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be good. But I can imagine people that don't know Jesus, don't get to know it, don't even want to know Jesus. And there's a lot of us. They can care less. It don't mean much to them. They don't care.
They think they're going to party.
Yeah. They think it's going to be a good time. It is a good time. But you need to remember. I mean, and by the way, Brian, the way he talked about Jeff and his buddy and all the stuff, and he was a Sunday school teacher and stuff. I mean, I know Brian didn't miss him, but he's in great shape. He's saying stuff, we can't even imagine. We don't know what's up. We don't know. It's gonna be good. I keep imagining the time that we'll get to actually walk up and see Jesus. You know, I've seen a lot of pictures of Jesus. I don't think nothing looks like it. Jesus hangs in a lot of churches. But I don't think he looks like that. I think he'll be glowing. I think he'll be sparkly. I think he'll be just happy. But I can't imagine people that don't want to know Jesus. I don't know what you think.
Well, another thing too, brother, you know, our churches now, you know, it's in the Bible, I read it this morning somewhere, beware of false religions. I don't know about this area, but our area, you know, when I grew up, you went in a place that had black lights and fog and all that, you was in the beer joint. But now it's in the churches, and that's not, you know, like you was talking about Jesus is glowing. I think the church ought to be the brightest place that you go in, not that strobe lights, and I mean, they getting on the other groves. You know, they got their coffee bars and just, that's just where they are. And I mean, they're packing them out. And it's not only your young people that's fell into that trap, it's your older people that's falling into it too. And so, you know, false religion is everywhere. And the church place is the best place for him to hit it. If he get that, he's pretty well wrapped up a whole lot of people.
He's actually the church people. He's got the others.
Yeah.
No big deal with him, but I mean, you know, it changes stuff. And I understand churches. There's churches here, y'all know of them, that's more into social than they are maybe into religion.
Religion will send you to hell. It's relationship that sends you to heaven. You know? A lot of people get it wrong and think that they got to live life like a checklist. You know, it's about growing the relationship. You get that relationship with God, you don't want to do what you used to do. And you know, a lot of these churches, like you said, is they take the focus off God, put it on everything else, entertainment, everything else, the aspects of the church. It's good to have the set, you know, the program that we have, but when the Holy Spirit gets involved, you don't know what's going to happen next. You know?
It's one of them here, Columbia. I think somebody said the pastor said they had to take them $14,000 a Sunday. You know, what are they focusing on?
Yeah.
An income. What happened to the preachers who just preach God's word? You know, they've took it into a profession instead of serving God.
Churches have changed over the years. I know when I was a kid, you went to church and you better sit down and be good, or mom would take you outside, and when you come back in, it was a good day. Then when you went home, it worked. But it's still fun.
And the reason churches are in shape they're in today is Christian people.
Let's hit that.
We don't pray. We don't read God's word. We don't go out to God's house like we should. And look at the world. People that are bringing up kids nowadays, they wouldn't go to church. They might have known it was from church, so they don't bring their kids to church. So these kids grow up, they didn't go to church. They don't have kids. They don't go to church.
And each generation
It's
is a
the
little
whole,
worse.
the whole community and the whole nation is God and Christian people pray. They said years ago, many times I've heard over in the old church over there, that during World War I and II, that you could hear people all over this mountainside praying for their men that's over there fighting. Said, no, Wednesday night, no, we can't make it. All us don't make it on Sunday night, should. But we're just not enthused. Our joy, we don't have the joy of top salvation like we used to back in the first day. I don't see how Kevin does as much as he does since he rededicated his life and preached. He's doing something all the time that's you get older, you don't have the strength in health that you need, but with the nation and all these people that's coming in here from all these other countries and bringing their religion in here, and there's somebody go down through suburban beating on the war tub with the hammer, and somebody will follow them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they don't know any better, because they've got been in the book. That's the biggest problem we've got in America. We've got everything in the world in the White House, the world running. Fighting, feuding, trying to kill the president and everything.
I think the, you know,
It's all you ever seen.
but you know, the Bible tells us that too in the back of the book, when you start reading, that, heaven's not gonna have the people of hell, right? Hell's gonna be a lot crowded,
Oh, yeah.
and that's what it says. And, you know, probably back in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s around here, that I'd say the churches were full.
We have these 250 people here,
Yeah.
this auditorium one time.
Yeah, in first temple, it was full.
Yeah.
That's where he was living. You know, that was living, well, is it up there? It was packed.
Any out there over here.
We just come down on weekends, and we didn't come down to see the mountains, we came down for church. Because we didn't have a church like this where we lived at. Well, no. Now it's very few, maybe one in each county that teaches and preaches God's word. Most of them is hula, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I think the world today is too desensitized, and we as Christians have let that happen without standing up because we were afraid to say anything. I think there's a lot of it. It's like me, I've done my best when I was younger to keep my kids in church, and then I failed, and then now because of my failings, I'm trying to do it with my grandchildren. And it's harder to do it because you've got parents fighting, you've got, you know, oh, I can't do it this week, or they can't go this week because we're doing something else, or whatever, you know. And I mean, yeah, there's times where you're gonna miss, but just to go to the movies or to go play at the park or something like that, you can do that afterwards, you know. Or I don't feel like it. That's the big thing now. I don't feel like it. Well, okay. You know, what are you gonna do when the time comes and God says, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't feel like it." You know. That's, you know, you gotta have faith, and it's something that's hard for me to do. I'm working on that, but giving it to God and letting Him deal with it, you know, and the kids and grandkids. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do.
Well, we say we give it to God, our problem is we pick it back up.
And it's twice as heavy when we pick it back up and give it after giving it to God than before laid it out first time.
I know our church, we get bands, and we pick up a lot of Mexican kids. Hey, the Mexican kids are glad to come to church. But you know, they all got that Catholic thing. And they're saying that Sunday is fun day. And you can get them, you can keep them coming if they get about 13 or 14 years old or 15. And they have what they call a coming out. When they get that age, Sunday becomes fun day. You can get them back on their band. That's it.
We've got grandkids that we brought to church and embrace that. And if they really got rooted and grounded in God's word, I don't know if you can live in the lifestyle we live now. Just like I heard the preacher on guy used to do it. So you can be saved or you can be gay, but you can't be gay and be saved.
Right.
Because not able to. He'll tell you that you're wrong. So if you're on that side of the street, then you better check and make sure that you go out. Mom, back up for me. Lord, for world with it. Anything that you want is out there. God will bless us. But if we keep going, and communist moves in the United States, one day from you, you will live what they want you to live, they'll kill you.
David, you come from a world too, like I did, where your elders taught you better, and then nowadays, they don't teach you anymore. They say, oh, well, you go look it up on Google, or go do this, or go do that. They just don't teach, they don't share. They don't, and then again, there's a lot of times that the younger generation just, oh, well, they're old, I'm not gonna listen to them. And that's their mentality, and that's not healthy either, but it's like I said, when my kids said, I didn't raise them the way they're doing now, but they're that way because their friends were, or whatever. And I know in some ways I blame myself because I failed as a parent in some ways, because I was always trying to work and keep roof over their heads and keep food on the table. And so I wasn't there as much as I should be. And that's the reason why now I have the opportunity to be there for the little. And I'm doing the best I can. But like they say, it takes a village. People don't understand that, but it does. And the church is your village. You've got them to talk to you, you've got them to lean on, you've got them to support you, and you support them. That's one thing that's lacking, because in some bigger churches, you don't know who's there. You might have your little clique here and this little clique there, but they don't know half the people that are there.
It's not a church family.
No, it's not.
I say, when it comes to sin, God forgive all sin. You know, it's all by grace, forgives all sin. But it's the repercussions of sin afterwards. You know, a lot of the mistakes that I made, I'm still seeing today. A lot of them. You know, relationships with my children that, you know, that's all because of what I did, the mistakes I made. And it carries on for years. I believe God's going to give it all back. I just got to keep living for Him. But, of course, by faith, you know, through grace, that's how we're saved. But when it comes to your sin, the devil just wants to sift you away, just like it says in the Bible, little by little. And, you know, like we've said, He's already got the world. It's the people in the church that He's working on. You know, if He sees you as a threat, that's when He starts attacking. That's when He tries to idolatry by putting anything that your flesh will put between you and God. That's when it starts. And then eventually, He'll have you out of church. So many people have left church because of that. Or quit coming to certain services, or just quit living for God in general. You know, when we get saved, we're supposed to live for Him. We die for our flesh. We don't just say, okay, I believe in you, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. No. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means. If you watch my life, you'll see something I do wrong. I ain't perfect, but it's just, you totally have to give your life to God. And if you allow the devil to sift you away, eventually you're just going to be part of the Christian problem, I guess you would say. And you're keeping doing more harm than you're doing good. You know?
It's a personal relationship
Yeah.
that you have with God. The church don't save nobody.
No.
It's their personal relationship that you have with God. And if you got the right personal relationship with God, you're going to go to church. That's like I said, when we first started coming up here, we didn't come up, well, we first started coming up here seeing the things, but then we came up here for, I think Brother Jack was the preacher over there, Jack Old, and the other preachers. It was the personal relationship we have with God, and we could feel it was the same thing going on here. And it's just like at home. It's fell off here just as bad as it has everywhere else. Like David said, it used to be full. It ain't nothing. It's where people don't have that personal relationship with God anymore.
Is it like preaching was preaching the church of listening the other day on two dogs, black dog and a white dog? So which one do you think is the dog? The same dog, same breed, same size. Which one do you think you're going to win the battle? Is it the one that you feed the most?
Right.
And if we don't feed the inner man more than we do the fleshly man's going to win.
Yep.
And what we thought and what we believed was wrong a year ago, well, it don't look hardly as bad. We let that slide. It ain't hard. The next thing you know, the devil got you. I mean, he just leaving you and got you, and you don't even think that much about it because you're letting up on the prayer life, you're letting up on the Bible reading. And if all Christian people, if all you've got is what you get here on Sunday morning, you bad shape. God meets with us and blesses us, but it's an everyday life, everyday devotion to God. That's what keeps you going, keeps you straight. And you're out here in the world, and you know what got wrong, and you don't take that. But when you start letting up, the devil's going to, boy, he's going to jump in our boat too. Next thing you know, well, I don't think I have to go here, and I don't have to do that. And then you just get weaker and weaker. And the rebels get stronger and stronger.
So even when you're doing what you're supposed to do, the devil gets in there too and starts saying, hey, look at this is what you used to do. They won't like you for that. They won't accept you for the things that you used to do. Well, I don't do it no more. Well, that don't matter to them, and he puts that in your head. And you just gotta put your foot down and say, nope, God's got me.
If the devil don't remind you, somebody else will.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
You know, there's a lot of, well, I grew up around here, and I went to Feeding Force Primary School, which was part of our business now, and I'd say a lot of other people did here. Some went to New Center and Sevierville and stuff like that, but in first grade to 8th grade, we got in high school at Winston Lake, but what did we do every morning?
Pledge and prayer.
We read a Bible, and we prayed. And our teachers would make everybody read a verse. You know, the easiest verse to read was God wept, and Jesus wept. But you would, my teachers wouldn't let you use that one. You had to pick a good one and read it. And you know, the Bible was right there with me. Either on the teacher's desk or somewhere. There was a Bible in that room every day. Every classroom you went into, it was there. And you could pray. And you could talk about God. They can't do that now. That's not allowed in school.
Leroy Maples, when I was in the 8th grade, they stopped that. And he told us, he's my homeroom teacher, he said, they tell me I can't read the Bible to you anymore. He pulled out the Bible storybook. They didn't say nothing about this. It's that the one you see in the Sunday school class with the kids. He read out that. They won't stop making those things. You know, he was determined. I appreciated his efforts.
And you know, the shame of all that is we let one person, one woman had enough power to take the Bible out of school, take the Bible away. One woman.
Because Christians wouldn't stand up or like that to happen.
Right.
It's all right.
But if you've ever read about her and stuff, she died a pretty violent death. And I'm sure she didn't make it to heaven. But why do we do that? Why do we extend that? And you know, they give us a thing now that everybody carries. There's not a person sitting in there probably don't have one of these on around with them. the best thing in the world or the worst. You can look up every Bible verse you want to. You can sit and start scrolling and Bible verse will start coming up and different things, but other things can't do it. It can be bad. It's technology.
Literally got the buttons to share.
And technology, Kevin does, gets on his phone up here and goes all over the world. People can see him all over the world. So why? I mean, you can see what God does. I mean,
Well, I saw say, on the other side of the world, you think, it take a long time for somebody to get there, take the work with them, just to get saved, and it's all, that right there,
Seconds.
just a few minutes.
Immediately.
Pray up.
Yeah, immediately.
You know, that's what I think is a good thing about the shoe boxes that we pack every year, is not only do they get each kid in whatever country it goes to, they get the shoe box and then they get the story of Jesus in their own language.
Right.
So that's huge, you know, I mean, that's where the $10 shipping that we pay per box, you know, I feel like that's, if anything, that's the best thing they can receive.
Kevin teaches the Sunday school class, maybe put an Iran, Pakistan, on Saturday morning. Well, wow. And he bought them all, most of them were Bibles in the wrong language. Spread it.
Well, I know me and Debbie involved with shoe boxes highly at 54. We did a lot of them, packed a lot of them. We got to repack and do a lot of stuff and heard a lot of stories from people who received it. And I've heard stories from this, I think a girl who kind of was talking at one of the packing plants and talking about stuff that she wanted
The scarf and gloves.
scarf and mitt and gloves. She wanted scarf and gloves.
It was a
You
cold
know,
climate.
that's what she wanted. Didn't matter about that's what she wanted. But when she received her box, what did she get? Scarf and gloves. And she talked about that, and she said, man, hopefully what there was what I asked for. But she said, I didn't know why they were there. I didn't know who put them there. I definitely didn't know who boxed them. But she said, then I seen something that meant more to me. And I don't remember where she was from. I don't remember where she was from. But she received what you were talking about. The Bible in her language. And she spoke English. But I don't remember where she was from. She said, you know, the gloves and the scarf meant a lot to me until I started reading that. That's when she became a Christian. So, you know, God can put little stuff in the way. Put something big with it. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, Billy Graham and that organization, Christmas box, best thing in America you can send out. And like when you go over here to this place and you're packing that stuff and you need it, I mean, what I do is I grab this, I grab this, I grab this, I grab this, and I put it in there and give it to them. But what God's probably doing is telling, you know, he didn't tell me what to pick, but when I picked his, he knew where it was going. He knew where that was. He knew the kid. The little boy was going to get it. He knew that's what they needed. They need these gloves. They need a mitt. They need pits. They need a roof. They need an empty box eventually. They love the boxes to put stuff in when they go.
Our kids do too, though, $10.
Yeah.
They toy and they play with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what, you know, God does a lot. And if you just let him, he'll do a lot.
But most of the kids too think when they get the box, it's
lot of these kids are so thankful to get a toothbrush. You know, our kids are thinking of all these stuff for Christmas that they want. And these kids are just so excited to get a toothbrush or a hairbrush or some headbands. You know, I mean, that's what I think is a good thing for our kids to see of how those kids are so appreciative of the small.
And a lot of the countries that these boxes go to, I know we had went, and I'd love to see this church, because when you go up and repack the boxes, it's so much fun. A lot of work. But they repack the boxes. A lot of boxes are going to different countries, like can't have any army men in it, can't have guns in it, can't have this. Some can't have shampoos, toothpaste, liquids in it. I mean, that's what you do. You actually go through the box and take stuff out, put stuff back in, and refill it with goods. And you don't know where that box is going. But there's so many countries that's not allowed. They allow the boxes in, but they don't allow some stuff, which is a good thing, especially army men and guns and stuff. But it's so much fun. It's a lot of work. A lot of fun.
I'll go back to Jesus washing feet. You know, and the message behind that is tell the disciples and tell everybody else we're supposed to serve. You know, serving, filling needs. You know, like the shoeboxes. You know, filling needs. Anything you can do to help someone, you feel led to do it. All of that conviction, the Holy Spirit tells you to do something, do it. You know, we could be paying it forward in the drive-thru. It could be anything. You know, whatever gets your heart to do. But that's exactly what Jesus was trying to show. Even watch Judas. Serve. Come to be a servant. Follow.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the shoe boxes are as intact when you say we take things out. The only things we would take out of shoe boxes are like liquids and stuff. You try to keep the shoe box as intact as it comes with everything in it, but like if there is something they can't send, such as shampoos and stuff that's liquid, they replace that item with something that can be sent. They have what they call fillers. And so, but if you put things in the shoe boxes that are acceptable, they go. It's not that we take things
Yeah,
so
it's like
much
you
out.
take the stuff
It's
out,
just
but yeah,
things that
some
cannot
countries
go.
don't allow
They
it.
can't. And that people might not know, that might, put it in themselves and know. But anything that's taken out, like shampoos or stuff, are donated to other organizations.
And there's
It's always used.
hundreds of thousands of boxes go out.
Oh,
Lots of boxes,
just amazing.
all over the world.
And at times, there was one event we went to, we sent shoe boxes to, an unknown destination because they can't receive this kind of stuff. And so we were allowed to work, and those were harder because some boxes would go to just other countries, and the boxes that didn't have, like, a doll, if the dolls had clothes that came off, you couldn't send the doll, so you would have to send that to another country, that box. But you had certain items, and for some reason pigs were offensive. You couldn't send something with a pig in it, like if it had a stuffed pig. So it was strange having to go through those boxes. And these have to go here to these countries, and these boxes go over here to this country that we don't know where they're going because it's so hard to get into, and they wouldn't even list the name of the country. So it's a different thing, but it was good.
Last year, there were over 12 million boxes that were sent out.
Now, it's a lot goes out. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of work.
It's rewarding.
It's neat to just think one day you might see that bird. Any other? About time to quit. It's kind of like back in the day. I mean, when you come to church at Christmas, and they give you that little bag of candy.
chewing gum, and a bag of candy, that would be fun, you know, if you were a kid. But that's, you know, they're just, those kids are getting stuff that they just could never think of, would ever get. Never had.
We are gonna be collecting stuff for our shoeboxes this whole week of Bible school. So if anybody wants to bring things, we'll have boxes at the front to put your stuff in.
Pencils, paper, whatever he tells you to pick up, he's sending it somewhere, he knows what's going on. Let's remember Brian and Jeff family, they go through this week, we know it's a hard situation, and I know Jeff has fought a long